Hello students, let's discuss today Aconitum napellus. Common name of this drug is monkshood and belongs to the family Ranunculaceae family. Prover of this drug is Dr. Hahnemann. So come to constitution. About constitution of this drug is generally indicated in acute or recent cases, especially for acute and recent cases. Occurring in young persons, especially girls full plethoric habit, who have a sedentary life, who lead a sedentary life, person easily affected by atmospheric changes. This one is causation, change in atmosphere, dark hair and eyes, rigid muscular fiber. So about constitution, young person, especially girls of full plethoric habit who lead a sedentary life, dark hair, dark eyes, rigid muscular fiber, and causation from sudden change in atmosphere. About mental generals, great fear and anxiety of mind. So fear, anxiety of mind with great nervous excitability, afraid to go out, to go into a crowd where there is any excitement or many people to cross the street. So, fear and anxiety, nervous excitability, afraid to go out, to go into a crowd where there are many people or any excitement, to cross the street. While crossing the street, fear of death. The countenance is expressive of fear, means person is full of fear. Fear is very important for this remedy. The life is rendered miserable by fear. This one is written in italics. We have to memorize at least this one also. Is sure his disease will prove fatal. The patient is sure his disease will prove fatal. Predicts the day he will die. Fear of death during pregnancy. During pregnancy, fear of death, predicts the day he will die. But in arsenic, the person thinks that disease is incurable. It is useless to take medicine. And mental and physical, both restlessness are marked in arsenic. Next, restlessness, anxious, thus everything in great haste. Everything do fast. Haste means fast. Great haste, must change position often. Everything startles him. Hahnemann says, this point is very important. Hahnemann says, whenever aconite is chosen homeopathically, you must above all observe the moral symptoms, means mental symptoms. That is fear, anxiety, restlessness. Be careful that it closely resembles them. The anguish of mind, anguish means restlessness, anguish of mind and body, the restlessness, the disquiet not to be allayed. So, this aconite is one of the medicine of Nash trios of restlessness, mental restlessness. Aconite, physical, restox, and both mental and physical is arsenicum alba. So, I have written here trios of restlessness, mental, aconite, physical restlessness, restox, and mental and both physical, both restlessness, arsenicum album. So, the mental anxiety, worry, fear, three things, accompanies the most trivial ailment, that is most trivial causation, most common causation, anxiety, worry, fear. Music is unbearable, patient can't bear music, makes her sad. Also in natrum car, music aggravates the problem, causes headache in natrum car, sabadina during menses. Sabina during menses. About physical general of this drug, first causation, complaint caused by, this one is causation, complaint caused by dry cold air, dry north or west winds, that is north or west winds, dry cold air, or exposure to draught of cold air or sudden temperature while in a perspiration, bad effects of checked perspiration, that is chest perspiration, person is perspiring and went into the AC room, that is check perspiration. Exposure to draught of cold air while in a perspiration. Causation north-west winds. Northeast winds, that is Allium cepa. Northwest Aconite. For the congestive stage of inflammation before localization takes place, means this one is first stage of inflammation. First stage of inflammation before localization takes place. About pain. Pain are intolerable. Pain intolerable. They drive him crazy. He becomes very restless at night. So it is also the remedy for trios of pain. Trios of pain, Aconite, I am writing here, Aconite, coffea and chamomilla. Trios of pain. Pains intolerable, drive him crazy, person become very restless and mostly at night. Aggravation time at night. About female symptoms, amenorrhea, that is absence of mens. This is secondary amenorrhea. In plethoric young girls, may be primary or secondary both. After fright, causation is after fright. Amenorrhea after fright, after fear, to prevent suppression of menses. About respiratory symptoms, cough, crow, dry, hoarse, suffocating cough, loud, rough, croaking means आवाज आएगा, hard, ringing, whistling on expiration. On expiration, cough. Causticum, aggravation on inhalation and also in spongia tosta. Aggravation on cough on inhalation. Causticum, spongia. Cough on expiration. Aconite and calicarb. From causation is from cold winds or draft of air. From dry cold winds or draft of air. Cough and crow. Crow is tracheolaryngobronchial affection that involves this trachea and larynx and bronchus. About nervous system, on rising from recumbent position, the red face becomes deathly pale, red face become pale, or he becomes faint or giddy and falls. Patient falls, feels faint, and he fears to rise again, often accompanied by vanishing of sight and unconsciousness. About nervous system, patient become unconscious, becomes faint, giddy, accompanied by vanishing of sight, and there is red face becomes pale, convulsions. Convulsions of teething children, heat, jerks and twitches of single muscles. Child gnaws its fist, frets and screams. Skin dry and hot, high fever. Convulsions, during convulsions, this is concomitant symptoms, skin hot and dry with high fever, and child gnaws its fist, frets and screams. Child screams. Gnaws is its fist means, gnaws means bite, something bite. Child bite his fingers और पूरे हाथ को, पूरे फिंगर को एक जगह करके मुट्ठी बना के उसको बाइट करेगा. स्क्रीम मीन्स चिल्लाना, रोएगा, चिल्लाएगा ड्यूरिंग कन्वल्सन्स. अबाउट फीवर सिम्टम्स, फीवर, स्किन ड्राई एंड हॉट. ड्यूरिंग फीवर, ड्राई एंड हॉट. फीवर एसोसिएटेड विथ कन्वल्सन्स. फेस रेड और पेल alternately, and then red, pale, red alternately. Burning, during fever, burning thirst for large quantities of cold water. Cold water thirst, burning thirst for large quantity. Intense nervous restlessness, tossing about in agony. Here nervous restlessness, mental restlessness is very marked in this remedy. Becomes intolerable towards evening and night. So aggravation during evening and night and on going to sleep. Aconite should never be given simply to control fever. This line is very important. Asked in Viva. Should never be given simply to control fever, never alternated with other drugs for that purpose. Never given to control the fever, never alternate with other drugs for that purpose. If it be a case requiring aconite, no other drug is needed. Aconite will cure the case. Means after aconite we need not to give any other medicine. The case will be cured by aconite. Unless indicated by exciting cause. Exciting cause or causation that excite the diseases is nearly always injurious in first stages of typhoid fever. Unless indicated by the exciting cause. It is injurious, that is harmful to give in first stage of typhoid fever. About modalities: aggravation, night, aggravation, evening. Pains are insupportable in a warm room. Warm room aggravation. When rising from bed, patient feels faint, giddy, unconscious. Lying on affected side, that is painful side. Aggravation. But bryonia lying on painful side, that is affected side. Amelioration in bryonia. Aggravation in aconite, hypersulf and nux moscata. Amelioration in the open air. Alumina, Maccar, pulsatilla, sabina. Amelioration in open air. Hypersulf in respiratory complaints. First we have to give this. These remedies are followed in series in respiratory complaints. First aconite, then hypersulf, then spongia tosta, based on the indicated symptoms. In aconite, aggravation time is evening and night. In hypersulf, aggravation time before midnight or towards morning. In aconite, causation from dry cold wind, that is from dry west wind, land winds, also in hypersulf and aconite both. But in aconite, dryness is marked, dry cough. But in hypersulf, there is rattling of mucus, hoarseness, and in hypersulf, cough when any part of body is uncovered. Next again the stage will come. First dryness, then mucus, then we have to shift to hypersulf. Then again patient if tell there is dryness, then we have to give spongia to cure. That is in spongia, great dryness of mucous membranes, dry as a horn. Dry, barking, croupy, everything is perfectly dry, no mucus rail. So this remedy followed in series. First aconite, then hypersulf, then spongia, then again aconite. Relationships complementary to cophia. Cophia in fever, sleeplessness, intolerance of pain, that is trios of pain, aconite, cophia, chamomilla. To arnica and traumatism, to sulfur in all cases. Sulfur in all cases, arnica and traumatism, rarely indicated in fevers which bring out eruptions. Aconite is acute of sulfur. This remedy is complementary to sulfur in all cases, acute of sulfur, and both precede and follow it in acute inflammatory conditions. So, all about this drug we have discussed. Aconite, common name monkshood, prover, Hahnemann, family Ranunculaceae, written in italics, who lead a sedentary life. The life is rendered miserable by fear. Dry cold air, dry north or west wind is causation, and on expiration cough aggravates. Cough on expiration. During fever, burning thirst for large quantity of cold water. So thank you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.